I cut out a lot of it. It was too long. It was like 7 or 8 minutes. I want each movement to be like 5 minutes, somewhere around there. 6, 5, 6, 7. 7 to 8 is 2. 7, 8, and if it times out to be like 8, it's probably 9. So in the interest of brevity and getting to the point, I started to remove sections. I circle stuff whenever I've changed it. This is just like a thumbnail sketch, so I can remember what I'm thinking. When I start to orchestrate it, I'll fill it all out. And when we get to some other movements that are more filled out, I'll show you what that looks like. And then as I go along, I change a lot. Some of this is bass melody, some of this is the top, some of it won't be in there at all. But it's just to show me, help me go from one section to the next. So this is all first movement pages. This is the end of that. Now this is the second movement. You can see this is a little more filled out than the first movement. This is all texture. It's flowing. Even if you look at the graphic representation of it on the page, it's more going up and down, like the kind of watery theme that I want. And yeah, this is more filled out than the first one. And this. So the third, the ragtime, it's in 2/4. It's in D flat. When I'm writing these sketches, I'm not really that technical. I know that JK is gonna get these scores and work them out and make them be technical. So I spell notes any kind of way, and harmonically, I'm not really that pristine about this particular type of score. When I really write it out for real, when I get the final sketch that he's gonna copy from, I'm much more meticulous with it. But sometimes if I'm rushing, I don't have the chance to really be as meticulous. So this is part of the ragtime. It's gonna give them a little workout right there. And all these 30-second notes. there's a lot of notes. And this is still a ragtime movement. Just a sketch of the end. Sometimes I fill the parts out too. It depends on how specific I want to be with my hearing. Like this is an example of a 3-part contrapuntal part. I filled all the parts out just because when I was hearing the original part, I had 3-part. I knew how I wanted the other parts to go. So then I make sure when I'm writing down journal, like if I have a specific chord or something that I hear at that moment, I will write it out. If it's something that I know I can hear at a later time, when I'm sketching something out, generally I'm kind of rushing. I'm not taking a lot of time. A sketch like this might take me three days to do if I work like 6 or 7 hours a day. Maybe 15-page sketch. It's 3 days. Now this, even though this looks simpler, this is the 5th movement, this actually takes a longer time, just to balance the rhythms, because this piece has a lot of rest in it. And just to feel and hear the time, I have to sing these parts over and over again, hundreds of times, really, to get the syncopation, get it in the right, to get them balanced, the high notes and the low notes. And that's that one. And then, this is the one that I said that I played on the trumpet, the 7th one. This is the keys that it goes. Sometimes I make a note to myself what keys I want to go in. Then I'll write the progressions down here. See, but then when I'm writing it, I change it. This is kind of like what I would like to do. But as I start to write it, sometimes it doesn't want to do what I want to do. So I always follow it rather than follow myself. Because even if you have a way that you want to go about doing something and it doesn't want to be that way, when you force it to be the way you want it to be, many times you destroy the natural feeling of it. You make it become more like an exercise. So I have a rule with myself that I always follow where the line wants to go. And this is the up part speaks to the lower part. High part speaks to the bottom part. High part speaks to the bottom high. So it's going back and forth like a conversation between them. And they get closer and closer together as they go along. You can see now they're getting closer. Now they start to get closer. Actually, let me see, they started close and they're getting further away now. They're further away. Then they start to get closer. Then they get closer, closer, closer. Then they get right on top of each other. Then it's just like a big screaming fest where they're just shouting at each other, going back and forth. And this is something, sometimes I go back and I will use measures that I had before. I write this down so I can know what the measures are to spell out a harmonic progression. So this is the progression that I'm spelling out at the bottom, and that's that. Like I said, I always like to work from the systems and the way of writing that we use. I don't like to use kind of systems that take me away from the imperatives of the style of music that I'm comfortable with, that I grew up with, and it's indigenous to the United States. Our style of music, which a vast majority of our music is written in that chorus format, chord progressions, improvisation, basses playing vamps and grooves, shuffle rhythms, all the bass call and response, train, onomatopoeia, western grooves. That's just the basic nature of our music. I figure my best bet is with the music that I know. These are some studies for choral, just how to write it. See, I got one study I did that Carlos was showing me about how to write the Latin music and what makes it successful, how to write the 2/3 and the best way to write it across time. So I'll write in like 2 or 3 measures of it and rap with him about it, and he'll tell me do this or do that, and then I'll go about trying to figure out how to do it. Then I get him to check it, and he'll tell me yes, it's good, or no, it doesn't work. This is a flute solo that I'm writing out. See, I'll write the clave in, like this is an example. I'll write the clave in so I can always know where it is, and I write against it so that it's not written exactly to the beat. This is the trumpet part. This is the section that goes habanero, right?